Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios, once again with another Dungeons & Dragons video. In a recent episode of my Saltmarsh vlog, or just in a recent session if you don't watch my Saltmarsh vlog, I had a player die. And not only was this their first player character death, this was my first player character death, my first real player character death, where they're gone, there's no revivify, there's no town nearby they can revive at. This is an ex-player character. And it was kind of a harsh blow. I wouldn't call myself a DM who pulls his punches. I used to back when I was a much younger DM, but I've never made combat so impossible that players would face insta-death or they weren't in over their heads or something like that. But this time, the dice just rolled the way they rolled, and a player is dead. Their character is no more, and now they gotta make a new one. But now that I am done mourning the death of their character, I have come to a realization that there are a few things you can do with death as a flavor for your D&D homebrew world. So for this video, I'll be giving you a few ideas that I came up with. I don't know if other DMs have already done this, but regardless, these are some ideas you can give to your campaign to make death a little more interesting. First on this is the obvious, a quest to the afterlife. Make sure that there are places that people go when they die, but there are also ways for players to go there. For example, the plane shift spell. Players can go into the depths of hell to save the party warlock from Asmodeus, his patron. Or, if the players really need their cleric friend back, they can journey into heaven and politely ask God to give back their friend. However you want to do it, a plane shift spell is a simple way of getting your players to a literal another plane of existence and take the adventure to a holy or unholy level. Another option is to have an entity force your player to come back to life. A good example, again, is a warlock where their patron says, you owe me 400 million gold or the souls of 10,000 people, and the warlock died giving him, $11 in a paperclip. That's not good enough. You get back up out there. You get back up in there. You get up there, and you get me those 10,000 souls. So, party warlock dies, and then just wakes up, looks at the rest of the party, and goes, I'm not allowed to die yet. And now the party has to either figure out how to break his contract or how to fulfill it. Maybe you're playing an evil campaign. However you want to do this, know that this will cause a bit of a more reckless nature in whatever character you're keeping alive, because once a player knows they can't die, they stop treating death like a problem and more like a solution. Another option is reincarnation, and I don't mean the actual spell that brings your character back as a different race or different age or however your DM decides to do it. I mean that when your player dies, a baby is born and that baby has their soul. And this baby can connect to the souls of all the other lives that have come before it, kind of like Avatar The Last Airbender kind of deal. Regardless of how you do it, a revive spell is not going to bring this person back because the soul has not left this plane. There might not even be an afterlife plane in this homebrew world, and the players just have to accept that death happens, and if they want to see their friend again, they're going to have to wait till that kid is old enough to explain the situation to. The next one is a bit more terrifying. Undeath. For example, say you have a night hag that lives in a forest somewhere and a member of the party just recently died. Wouldn't it be a shame if, as a villainous idea, that the evil night hag decided, hey, let me just revive the party's best friend and use that as the enemy to tug at their heartstrings? Now, there are some spells that prevent bodies from being turned into walking husks of what they once were, but if the party doesn't have the right spells or the right classes, undeath can be a terrifying way to bring back an old friend. The final one is a great idea for a one-shot that I would not recommend for a campaign. If your players die, they don't. They just don't die. When making the one shot, when preparing your players for it, when telling your friends, hey, I'm going to do a one shot, you guys can make whatever character you want, but tell them you do not roll death saves. As soon as their HP hits 0, they do not roll death saves. And you gotta word it like that because that's not lying. They don't roll death saves. You watch as those players, especially if you have a min-maxer in your friend group, those players will make the tankiest, most healing party, resistant to every kind of damage. We are going to see Bear Totem Barbarians with the Cleric heal spell at level 20. These guys will be super chads of tanking. And as soon as one of them hits 0 HP, they don't die. HP was irrelevant. HP had nothing to do with this campaign. It was just an elaborate ruse. It's hilarious. I haven't tried it on anyone yet because I just came up with this idea, but I think it would be funny. It's a prank to play on your players. Maybe make it an April Fool's Day session. However you want to do it. But just don't. Just don't kill them. They live forever. And you can't do this for a campaign because if players can't die, then players won't think. That is something I have found as a direct 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to players. So, however you want to do it though, these are 5 ideas of things to do to maybe just change up how death works in your homebrew world. If you thought these were interesting, leave a comment below or give me one of your ideas, something you like to do in your campaign. Regardless though, thank you for watching as always. I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.